Hello everyone, that manga kid here to do a first-ish impressions on Bloom Into You by Nakatani Nio. This is a 7 Seas release, as most Yuri series are. I say first-ish because I have read these first 4 volumes, which is all that is currently out as I am filming this. I think there's gonna be at least 6 because I looked at how many chapters are out online and it looks like it's into volume 6, but I have no idea how many volumes are actually going to be of this series, and I really have a lot of feelings about talking about it right now, so I figured I would just make a video on what I've read so far, and call it a first-ish impression, because I did technically read these all kind of in one sitting almost, and so I'm still kind of, it's all like fresh in my mind of like what I want to say about this. And maybe once the series is finished, as long as that takes for that to happen, maybe I'll make another video talking about my thoughts finally on the whole thing altogether. But for now, I've read 4 volumes. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil anything, but like, I don't know, you can pretty much see what's going on just based on the covers here. Um, yeah, so anyway, this is one of the only Yuri series I own. I do not read a lot of Yuri, I read a lot of yaoi. Um, because that is where my interests lie. But I was interested in this series specifically because of the way that people had been describing Yui, the main girl here with the pink hair. Um, there had been some talks about her potentially being asexual, and that is not something that is typically covered in media at all. To be blatantly honest, asexuality is not talked about. Um, so I did a little bit more research on the series and decided to just take a chance on it and see, what was the fuss about it, what was so important about this series, why were people talking about this one. And so I bought the first few volumes and I did read them. I'm going to start off by saying I enjoyed them. I have issues with them. I wouldn't go as far as to say personally that Yui is asexual. I wouldn't place that label on her based on what I've read so far. I wouldn't say that. I would say though that this is probably as close as we're gonna get, which is really, really shitty. Because I really would like something, whether it's manga or not, something to tackle asexuality in a delicate manner, and have it be discussed. So I'm more interested in Yuri and Yaoi series that actually tackle LGBT issues, rather than just being smut or, you know, trying to arouse the reader, especially when it comes to Yuri, because that's not why I'm reading it. But so in that case, this does tackle some issues about being an LGBT teen, which is what I liked about it. There's several characters in this series that are struggling with their own sexuality and coming to terms with that. In this case, obviously, it's about the fact that girls like girls. That's what it's covering in this series. The main character Yui is experiencing conflicting emotions because she doesn't feel love for anybody, which is why I'm kind of wondering if like she's more on the aromantic side rather than asexual. But she's trying to feel love for someone else. She doesn't understand why everybody else has these crushes. They have butterflies in their stomach and they experience all these emotions, and she's not experiencing that, and she's confused about that, and she is upset about it because she doesn't understand why she's different, and why she can't have that kind of happiness that she sees other people experiencing. And the series is about this older girl on the student council who falls in love with her, and so she's trying to understand how those feelings happened. Like, how does this girl love her, and why doesn't she feel anything back, even though she kind of wants to, but is still not experiencing it. And yeah, so it's a bit of a different dynamic. And then there's some other characters as well. You see the best friend of this girl is back here on this cover on volume 4. Like there are some adults in this series. There are some LGBT adults that I love, honestly. There are characters that I really, really connect with in this series, and there are moments that I really, really connect with, and I remember my own high school days, and there are scenes in this series that literally looks like somebody followed me and drew my experience in female form, because I just was shocked at how closely some of these scenarios resembled my own coming to terms with myself, which is why I enjoyed it and also felt uncomfortable because it is hard to have something so blatant in your face that you know you've experienced yourself, um, which is why, honestly, I would recommend this to LGBT folks who are looking for something to actually connect with. Um, there is some like pandering to a male audience, obviously, because that's the whole point of Yuri. Um, but I think that like I can overlook it and look at the bigger picture and see the emotions and feel the emotions and really connect with these characters, which is why I bought this series in the first place because that's what I was looking for. Um, I would recommend if you like Yuri, definitely pick this one up. If you don't like Yuri but are looking like me for something um, that's LGBT centered and has a bit of a different dialogue, this one does have a bit of a different dialogue about being a queer young person, um, that I really enjoyed. And hopefully it will continue on this path. Hopefully it'll get better. I don't know what the future of this story is going to be, and I don't know how long it's going to be, but I will be along for this ride because when I read the first volume, I honestly wasn't impressed. I really like Yui, the main character. I'm not a super fan of this girl. There are some times when she's okay, and I connect with her, and then most times I just don't care. Um, and of course, she has a traumatic past that I really don't care about. But I'm interested to see where Yui goes. I'm interested to see where this best friend character goes. I'm interested to see where the adult um, couple goes because those are the characters I'm here for. That's what I came for was a queer romance story that was just like realistic and honest and authentic. Um, so I'm hoping that it kind of focuses on some of the side characters a bit more, because there are some really amazing side characters in this story that I really would like to hear their voices, as opposed to just like the main couple that the author is trying to make happen. I don't know. Um, I don't know if any of that made sense, but I hope that I've at least piqued your interest on this series if you haven't already checked it out. The art is really, really nice. That's another reason I liked this, or chose this, because a lot of like Yuri and Yaoi doesn't have a lot of backgrounds or anything. It's pretty simple character centric stuff, but like this one does have backgrounds, and the art is really nice. The characters are all very distinct looking. It's well done, art wise. I'm enjoying it. I will be picking up more of this series. Hopefully, when it finishes and I have read all of it, whenever that is, I will probably do a final impressions on this series. But for now, these are my thoughts. I hope that if that interests you, that you'll pick it up and give it a chance. Yeah, thanks for watching.